Welcome to the Not So Weekly Art Updates. What can I say? I did put the reason why in my last update video, my art update video. It's just what it is. I just got really stressed out and I couldn't perform. I had performance issues. But anyway, I have between the last video and this one, I have done a few things. I haven't done anything new in this book, so this week I really want to get back into filling in more pages in this little sketchbook, in this little horsey book, which has got my anatomy notes and gestures, some forms, and even simplified armature like this one. And I also need to I love this one. I love this little set of legs. Oops. Little set of running legs. But yeah, I need to get back into the swing of putting things in this book. So this week I will be aiming to do at least another 3 pages in this little horsey sketchbook. We'll see how we go. But I did want to show you some paintings that I've done this week, or last week, I should say. Actually, before I do that, I will show you, I haven't been doing any morning sketches either. Like I said, I was really stressed out, and these are my sketches. So the birds we saw that in the last morning sketch video. I recorded that. I didn't record this one. I didn't have a time limit for this one. It was just a morning sketch that I think it lasted for about an hour in total. So I wasn't overly too concerned about anything other than just sitting down, relaxing and drawing. So that's the last page that I've done. I'm thinking about doing another page this morning. I don't know if I'll record it or not. I might just let it just be for me, so you can see. They're not perfect. You can see some turned out better than others. I had a lot of trouble with this face for some reason, so I might have to practice doing heads again. I do get rusty. One thing I noticed when I was doing my previous video showing the game, because I went through some of my old sketches and drawings over the years looking for those ones that I did about games, and some of my past ones were I thought were quite good, and some of them were terrible, as you would expect. But I was pleasantly surprised at somehow some of my drawings, and I think it was because I was really focused on doing those drawings at that time, so I was doing a lot of them. And when you do a lot of something, you do end up getting better eventually. And that's the problem, is that you can fall out of practice of doing different things. So I'm going to have to start doing my morning sketches again and try and be a little bit more consistent, is the word I'm looking for. But anyway, I just want to show you these paintings that I did, and this is just on cardboard. I tried to do a pink underpainting with acrylic paint, and that didn't really turn out so well. I mean, it looks all right. I actually really liked doing this section here, this section up here. I like doing that, and it made me think that I might like to do landscapes perhaps next. I'm not sure. But I had a little bit of trouble with the horse and the horse's head and the water. But the paint was slipping around a lot, but I think that's because I just used acrylic paint underneath. So I'm still working on what kind of primer I want to use. But yeah, another one with pink acrylic paint underneath. This was just a horse head. And I think this is more of the style that I want to try and foster. I had a bit of trouble with the tape, and it got torn a little bit, so what I might do is I might tape past, like when I cut the cardboard, I'll cut past the edges so that I can tape the excess instead of taping the actual part of it, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's a nice little horse head. And yeah, I tried to do something a little bit different with this one, and it didn't work out. I'll just flat out say it didn't work out, because I don't know how to paint flowers or do any sort of landscape really, apart from what you've seen me do in the past with gouache. And yeah, it's not translating. It's not translating at all. So this, I would say that this would probably work more as a colour study. But even then, it's a failure. It's a failure. But it it's a failure in the result, but it's definitely not a failure in the execution, because that taught me a lot of things. So in that respect, it was very well worthwhile doing this, even though the end result didn't turn out. Sometimes when you're learning something, sometimes you need to keep reminding yourself the end result. While you're learning, the end result isn't so much as big a focus as it is going through the process. So that's why I'm okay when I do like shitty drawings and shitty paintings. I'm okay with it, because I know that that's just part of the path of learning. So we deal with it. And then occasionally we have something that works out really nice. I thought this one turned out quite nice. I think this one was a little bit more successful than say, for instance, this one. Yeah, I actually quite like this. I think this has got a little bit of energy, and the overall colour, and I think the end result of this one came out a little bit better than the others. But yeah, I learnt a lot while in the process of doing this as well, so that was quite good. Oh, something else that I wanted to say. What was it? It was about painting. So I am also in the process of setting up a file for my next long painting, which the long paintings are the multi-session paintings, because while these are done in one session, I guess a la prima, I guess they would be called, I want to be able to come back to a piece over multiple sessions, give it a little bit more completion or just a little bit more work, because I do have a problem with coming back to things. So I did that with my long drawings, and it helped a lot. It helped me to see how far my skill actually has evolved. Just wait for this plane. So if you're like me and you have trouble coming back to a piece, I highly suggest trying out just setting aside 40 minutes for each session every day or every other day, or however, whatever cadence you want to do it with. But I do highly suggest trying that out, because you will see more of where your skill is leading. So I am working on the next long painting. I've chosen. It took a while. It took a while for me to choose the subject and how I want it to be, because I'm getting to the stage where I don't want to just copy a reference. I want to put something more into it. So I have, while I wasn't painting and while I wasn't drawing, I was looking at the paintings that I do like, the paintings that I would be happy if I was doing them, the paintings that I see something in. And so while I was looking at these paintings, I was trying to discover what it was about these paintings that drew me in. So I took some notes. These are the notes. These are not the notes. All right. So I took some notes about what it was that I was seeing. This was just me just playing around with a pen just to try out ideas with the next long painting. But this one here is, I broke down some of the paintings that I saw that I thought were really nice, that appealed to me, that spoke to me in a way, and I tried to think about what it was, what the reason was why it was speaking to me. So what I did was I observed the paintings in a way, I don't exactly know how to describe it, but I was looking for the common things in each of the paintings that I liked, to see if there was a pattern there, to see if there was something behind what I'm looking at, something that speaks to me more consistently than some other things. Obviously it comes down to the fundamentals, but what exactly is it about the fundamentals that makes a painting that just that little bit extra? And I found it was the way the light is used as a tool. The shapes, there's a definite shape language in the paintings that work, and at the composition plays a big part as well. What's included and what's left out of the painting. I think that in a lot of the really good paintings, there's usually a reason for what you see, the things that you see in the painting. There's a reason for that thing being there. When I looked at these paintings, I just did a little rough sketch just to see how each of these elements are working. Where it's, where there would be a light space and then the different shapes, or how a particular colour is the showpiece of the painting. Well, I just wrote that this piece was red. I don't remember what this is, what I was looking at, but it was light and then there was a splash of red. And I found that said something more than just a pretty image. And this one was just a dog, I think it was, or some sort of animal. But I was looking at the shapes, how the darks were connected. And same here. How the different planes of this particular painting, I think this was cows on a hill, and how that worked. So I just wrote a few notes. Choose where you want the light to connect to the subject. It's a tool. It's a tool like anything else. Then I just wrote down some words. These words are just the words that came to me when I was looking at these paintings, if that makes sense, so that I can figure out, does this painting say something to me? Now this is going to be subjective, so everyone's going to see or read something completely different into each painting that appeals to them, because that's personal taste, and there's nothing wrong with that. So this is me, what I see in the paintings that I like. And sometimes the subject of the painting would be hard work, like it would be a horse all saddled up. It's a worker, and it conveys the beauty in something that works hard, if that means something to you. Or a moment of peace in the light, where it's just a moment of rest, a moment of just a moment. Or it could be companionship, where it's more than one subject, it could be two subjects. Interacting in the painting in some way. So that could be something. Earthy. It could be, I wrote down earthy down here. So in a lot of paintings that I saw that appealed to me, there was a lot of earth in them. They were outdoors, nature, that type of thing. Reflection. There was a lot of reflection in the paintings that I liked. So that's a concept perhaps, because a reflection could mean a lot of different things it'll mean something different to each person. So what does that reflection mean to you? What does it mean to me? So that's something that I would have to look into a little bit more, but I wrote it down because that's something to explore. Splendor, because some of just the sheer splendor, the sheer beauty of a painting, which is more of an overall thing. But sometimes, and this is probably more towards landscapes, I think I wrote this down, just the splendor of a beautiful landscape. I wrote down a ray of light. So again, ray of light, sunlight, light. Like I said before, light is a tool to use. So light is is an instrument that makes up part of the orchestra. It's a very important instrument. I wrote down golden hour because a lot of the paintings that I liked were paintings within that golden hour. Again, that ties into the way light is used. Action and drama I wrote down here. What that means to me is that something is going on. There's tension in the painting in some way, where it could be a horse leaping off a cliff or something like that. Like it's the tension, it's action, it's drama. Or it could be a horse rearing up because there's a snake on the ground. I haven't seen that painting, but I'm sure that painting's out there. I just thought of it just then. But that's drama. So I wrote down expression because a lot of the paintings that I enjoyed seem to have an expression to them that speaks to me. That expression, again, is going to be personal, because what you see in a painting is basically your reflection. What you read from it is your reflection. So these words that I wrote down are very personal. And I suggest that if you're looking to go that extra step and to put something a little bit extra in your paintings, to do the same thing, just to do a word salad of the things that come to mind when you look at these paintings, because it could give you a little bit more of an insight into what it is that appeals to you, that you could then put into your paintings. Because what I felt was that what I'm doing is boring. I think it's common. I don't think I'm the only one. I think this is just a common stage for an artist, where you're practicing and practicing, but the things that you're practicing are boring, to put it nicely. They're boring. I mean, this is boring. I mean, this one's a little bit nicer, but this has probably got, this, to me, this expresses freedom, you know, a little bit of a spark. So, and that's because of the action of the horse. Again, it comes down to the action that I write down. And this one is boring. It could have been beautiful, but I couldn't portray the light. I couldn't portray the beauty of the flowers behind. And this one here is boring. I could have done better with the reflection. But again, like I said, the reflection is going to be something people see, you know, different things. And also the water, the landscape. So again, I could have played more on so many of these different concepts like sunlight, light, golden hour, maybe tenderness. Tenderness is one that I wrote down because a lot of the paintings that I saw had a certain tenderness to them. Again, it's going to mean something different to everyone. And those paintings spoke to me a little bit more than some of the others. And I just wrote down, yeah, a brief moment. So that was a moment of peace in the light. So it just in general, a brief moment. It's captured, something fleeting that's been captured so that you can enjoy it over, you know, every time you look at it. I wrote down yellow, red and blue because I found that when that was used in a painting, it really stood out to me and it got my attention. So I wrote that down. I don't know how I would use it. I don't know how I'm going to use any of these words, but it's an exercise that I found really, really good. And it's given me a little bit more of an insight into what I want to paint. How to take my paintings to the next step. Whether I can do that or not is another thing, but at least I've got a little bit more insight. And so I just did, these are just a few messing around with a few thumbnails for my next long painting, trying a few different concepts. So I was just, you know, capturing, for this one it was companionship perhaps, or capturing the moment, or just that moment of peace of two horses. And then I was trying to see how I could use the light as a tool. Where was that moment of peace in the light? Coming from this way. And then clouds, and it didn't quite, it was something that was very, very difficult for me to wrap my head around because this is a new concept for me. Obviously, it's the next step in being able to paint something appealing. But it's going to take a little bit of work for me to understand it, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I was just playing with a different one, a horse on a coastline. You know, where I've been copying photos, using photos as references and just basically painting the reference. I might leave certain things out or, you know, change little bits here and there, like I did with this one. This isn't an exact copy of the reference. I did change a few things, but it is pretty close. And sometimes when you get a really good reference, all of that work has been done for you. And that's when I think sometimes you can get something that works well, like this one. I think this works quite well. But I want to be able to understand that thing, that extra concept. Once I understand a little bit more, I think I'll be able to explain it a little bit more confidently. But it's just, at the moment, it's just a concept on the edge of my brain. I know that will take me to the next step. I just don't fully understand it yet. So, and when I say I don't fully understand it yet, what I mean is I don't fully understand how to incorporate that to express those ideas. So, yeah, that was actually really interesting for me. That took a day of introspection, of doing that, and I think that will help me move to the next level. Obviously, I still need to do practice paintings, so that is still on the cards. Now these, I don't know what I used to prime this one, but this one worked a lot better than the acrylic. So, but it's bleeding through. You can see that it's bled through. But oh well, it's just practice. Doesn't really matter. I think it absorbed into the cardboard a little bit more because this is not as shiny as this one, for instance. can't really see it, but anyway, it's shiny. So some of these have absorbed a little bit into the cardboard, and some of them haven't. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. This is all that I've done since the last video, which isn't much. It isn't much, and I'm not particularly happy about that. And I do want to do something about that. So I guess that's what I'm doing today in making this video, updating. I'm not going to write down what it is that I'm going to do. Or maybe I should, but just make it a general guide. My hands are, it's freezing this morning. It's freaking freezing. Let me see. Just grab any old pen. Well, I still would like to do the practice painting, so I would say, well, let's just write down what it is that I want to do first. So practice paintings. Okay, anatomy studies. Gesture drawings. Form / contour / what do you call it, the armature? Basically stick figures. That was like which I think actually really helped. I think it's going to help me to be able to draw horses the way that I want to. See, it's just stick figures. Stick figures. I keep going off to this side because this is where my mic is, so I'm like showing it to the microphone instead of the camera. Yeah. All right. So I think that will be enough. I don't know how much of each I will be able to get done because I do have a couple of other things that I want to do. I want to update my Patreon rewards. I don't have any Patreons yet. But I still want to put the content out there because it's still, you know, getting in the practice of delivering stuff, delivering deliverables, I guess. What else? Yeah, I think that will do. I think that will do for now. Probably thumbnails is another good one, but I might I might do that as a specific thing. Might make a video about thumbnails, doing thumbnails, and what we can learn from them. Yeah, so I guess that's it for this week. There's no diary entry. Well, there is diary entries, but I'm sure you don't want to hear about them because they suck. They suck because all I was doing was stressing out, which obviously I'm not stressed out as much now. So that's fine. That's fine. I want to get on with it today. I'm in the mood where I want to get on with it, which is really good. So that's what I'm going to do after I finish making this video, is I'm going to get on with it. I'm going to get on with the job. And yeah, let's see where this all evolves. Let's see how this evolves over the week to next week and see how it goes. Well, I thank you if you've watched this video. I hope you got something out of it. And I hope to bring something more to the table next week, thereabouts. It's not so weekly anymore. And yeah, if you enjoy, leave a like. If you want to say something in the comments. I won't bite. I won't bite. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this week. I will see you next time. Join me if you wish to see how next week goes, how the week goes. And that's it. Keep drawing, everyone. Bye.